third quarter in the lead. But other than that, the Chicago Bulls lose just about every other quarter of this game, getting completely outworked and manhandled by the Memphis Grizzlies, losing the game by 15 points. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, the Chicago Bulls in this game look bad. They showed some great play to start coming out the halftime. Honestly, it was probably one of the best quarters I've seen the Chicago Bulls play. They weren't able to keep up the momentum. Some bad calls by the refs, some terrible decisions from Zach LaVine, bad turnovers from the team overall. And just when it comes down to the Bulls just did not play well enough against a team of the caliber of the Memphis Grizzlies. And, in that third quarter, every player showed a little bit for the Bulls. Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Zach LaVine, Vooch coming on. But it just was not enough, and it was not enough of a sustained effort. The Bulls scoring 14 points in both the fourth quarter and the first quarter in this game, bookending this game. And really, the Bulls encapsulates, if that's the right word, the play of the Chicago Bulls in this game. They started off flat, played better in the second and third quarters, and then had a flat fourth quarter again, both times getting punched in the mouth. The Bulls not knowing how to respond, how to stop the bleeding on runs. Jaren Jackson Jr. stepping up, hitting two very big threes for the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant hitting 4 or 5 threes, I think, in the third quarter alone to kind of keep them in that game. If it wasn't for Ja Morant and his ability to hit three-point shots and just come up with big plays in the third quarter, with the way that the Bulls played, they would have had a 15, 20-point lead going into the fourth quarter. But Ja Morant hitting the threes, playing the way that he did, the Grizzlies playing the defense the way that they did, Jaren Jackson Jr. hitting big shots. It just all came down to the Bulls did not have enough in the tank. Second game of a back-to-back, missing DeMar DeRozan. But really, none of that's an excuse to me because the Bulls showed that they could execute and they could have possibly won this game. They did not execute enough or well enough down the stretch of the game, and that's just it. No Bulls player had a positive plus-minus in this game. Every Bull that checked into the game, but Goran Dragic actually did score in this game as well. No Dalen Terry, no Tony Bradley in this game. The Bulls shoot 36% overall from the field in this game, 20% from the three-point line. They do win the rebounding battle, surprisingly, by 10, even though it didn't feel like it. 18 turnovers from the Chicago Bulls, 24 assists on 32 made baskets. The Bulls just didn't play well enough, and that's just what it is. Boneheaded players from Zach, everything. And as we've been saying with this team, every time this team gets close to 500, they go on losing streaks. Now, there's only one loss here. The Bulls now fall to 2 games below 500. As we're trying to get above 500, we got 5 games left until the All-Star break. Can the Bulls do it? We'll see. But, at the end of the day, the Bulls just did not play well enough to really win this game. And yeah, we saw some flashes. It gave us a little hope. It was exciting third quarter on top of that. And I do want to give the Bulls some love for just the way that they did come out after halftime and made some adjustments to really get back in this game. But it just wasn't enough. And that's just really all it comes down to. You can have good quarters, you can look good for a second, but are you going to make the plays well enough to win the game? And the Bulls just did not do that today. They didn't do it. No answer for Ja Morant. No answer for Jaren Jackson and his defense and his shooting coming on in the fourth quarter. The Bulls just didn't execute. They didn't have enough to win this game, and it's unfortunate. Good game from Vooch as always, and some of you guys want to see Vooch gone. 28-17 from Vooch with 6 assists, 3 steals. In this, only 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. Vooch balled out in this game, and he played to the best of his ability, especially considering they were playing some really good defense, especially in the first half on Nikola Vucevic. Zach had a really good quarter in this game, but him missing 7 free throws in this game completely hurt the Chicago Bulls. You got to be able to hit. Shout out to Zach for being able to make it to the free throw line 17 times when his shot wasn't falling the best. He ends the game 6 of 13. But you got to be able to hit your free throws. It's pointless of getting to the free throw line if you're going to miss them at that rate. Missing 2, missing 3, okay. Missing 7 out of 17 free throws in a game that was close. kind of in the parts that mattered, definitely hurt this team. Zach made some boneheaded turnovers, not being able to hit 3-pointers. There's a lot of that in this game that you got to just Zach. This is a game that we needed Zach LaVine to step up. Vooch did his thing. Vooch stepped up. We needed Zach to step up with the absence of DeMar DeRozan, and we just didn't get it. And again, this loss isn't completely on Zach LaVine. And I know some people are going to try to blame it all on one player. It wasn't. There are some scheme mistakes from Billy Donovan in this game. There are some boneheaded plays from Patrick Williams and Io, inability to hit shots. Anytime your team as a whole shoots 36% as a team, that's a whole team thing. And that's a problem. And so, the Bulls, they go to face the Brooklyn Nets next, I believe is who we face the Brooklyn Nets next. And then we have the Cleveland Cavaliers on Saturday. What can the Bulls do in those two games? The Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant is apparently going to be out for a considerable amount of time. That's a game that the Bulls very well better win that game. But it sucks, man. It really does suck. This team, building some good momentum to come in and drop a game like this, man. It sucks, but you can't win them all. And when it boils down to it, the Bulls still have, at this point now, we got 28 games left on the season. We'll see what the Bulls can do. Not too hopeful over the Bulls overall just because of the up and down play. But the Bulls really, over their last 20, they're 13-7. So they have been winning more games here lately, but we just got to see this team. They got to step up against the better teams, man. And we haven't fared well against the Western Conference at all this season. This definitely adds to that. But, we'll see what the Bulls can do in the next two games, man. But let's go ahead and get into the comments. Jonathan E. just says, those MFers robbed Zach of 2 threes, I swear. Not that I don't disagree with you on that. Don't disagree with you. For all the casual basketball fans that say DeMar makes this team worse, you are stupid. Well, I don't think people do say he makes the team worse, which is incorrect. I think that it is accurate to say that he sometimes slows down the offense. There are times where he doesn't distribute the ball as well. And, there is something to be said of if DeMar wasn't on the team, the other younger players that we need to develop would have more shots naturally. But you can't say that DeMar makes the team worse. You can talk about things from the standpoints that I gave, but yeah, this is a game in which we definitely needed DeMar DeRozan. We need scoring on the bench without Zach, DeMar, or Vooch on the floor. Only Io was scoring. Well, yeah, and this is also, that's why I said it's not all on Zach, because, yeah, this is a game where no bench player had double digits. Andre Drummond had another terrible game after having his best game as a Chicago Bull. So for all those people who after a game were like, oh, we told you guys, this is why Billy Donovan's the worst coach ever, because he didn't play Andre Drummond 20 minutes a game. And it's like, Drummond in this game actively hurt the Chicago Bulls. Actively hurt. Out of the 13 minutes Andre Drummond played, I'd give him 4 of those minutes were cool for the Bulls. For the most part, he hurt the Chicago Bulls. Kobe White going 1 for 8 in this game. Jared Jones Jr. going the bench as a whole. This is crazy. The bench was 3 of 15. I'm sorry, 3 of 19 from the bench. That's just bad, man. That's just terrible. You need more output from your bench than that, right? And we've been getting it, so I'm not going to act like we just haven't been getting it the last month. We have. But this is a game, like I said, the shooting overall hurt the team drastically. Alex Larez in the building says, this was expected, to be honest, but I'm just focused on the Lakers game now. Hey, I feel you. How many points does LeBron have? Let me know. Caruso says, tough loss. Definitely tough loss there, brother. LaVine was tweaking out there at the end. Well, the team as a whole was, but yeah, for sure. No, they stopped moving the ball. Zach did way too much when they went down by 5 at the end. Too many turnovers. It wasn't just Zach, though. That's the thing. Yeah, I agree that Zach did that. But again, as the team as a whole couldn't shoot, it's not just Zach. And we got to get out that mindset of trying to blame it on one person. Vooch balled harder than Zach, it feels. Oh, Vooch, I've been saying it. Vooch has been the most consistent Bull all season long. Period. Then we can never get a 4-game win streak, and then DeMar's always out after a 3-game win streak. You know what? That's funny enough, but you're right. You're right. Kobe White, please re-sign with the Bulls, says, ain't tripping over Bulls games for 2 to 3 weeks now, but this shit was really bad, not because it was a bad performance, because it was dumb, boring basketball. Well, it was a bad performance. And that's what I don't care about a game being boring. There's going to be some games that are just boring, but you got to be able to pull those games out. The Bulls just played bad basketball. Jaren Jackson is that rim protection. Oh, absolutely. Anytime you average 3 blocks per game, yeah, that's you are rim protection at that point. Bulls doing Bulls things, I see, shaking my head. They have at least one bad quarter per game. Unfortunately, it was the fourth quarter this time and the first quarter. The first and the fourth quarter were terrible quarters for the Chicago Bulls. You can't start and end your game like shit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there were some very questionable calls today. Phil Jackson should have fouled out today. Don't get wrong. I know the Bulls played bad in the fourth, but bad calls. Yeah, there are definitely some bad calls in this game. Definitely. Shay says, I'm mad as hell, and this is on my birthday. Hey, listen, bro, the Bulls are going to bull regardless of whose birthday it is, but happy birthday to you, brother. You get to see another day on this planet, another year on this planet, I should say, and we're glad to have you here, brother. Melvin says, I didn't watch the game, but hearing from you and others about Zach, if we have to ask repeatedly for Zach to take better shots in crunch time into his 8th year, then he's sadly never going to change. Well, I would not necessarily say that. But that is why, keep in mind, the way that this team was constructed, having Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan out there was supposed to help mitigate Zach LaVine's bad basketball IQ. That's why team construction is a thing. That's why it's important how you construct a team. But yeah, Zach played bad down the stretch of this game. That's it. But I will say this, though. As much as we talk about Zach playing bad down the stretch of this game, the Bulls wouldn't have been in position to win it or even have the lead if it wasn't for how Zach played in the third quarter. Let's be clear here. Zach LaVine, the way he played in the third quarter is the only reason, and Vooch being consistent throughout the game, but the only reason why we had a glimmer of thinking we may have had a chance to win this game. So if you're going to tell the story, let's tell the whole story. Else, team continuity, do not dare mention trades, though. At least the Bulls will win the continuity championship, maybe. You be killing me, bro. How you getting paid $200 million but can't shoot free throws? I don't know what the fuck happened to Zach. He was much better last year. Well, no, he was much better to start the season last year. He was terrible to end the season once that knee thing happened. But yeah, the missed free throws, that's just tough. That's tough. Sean, and I see people keep saying this, and this is one of those things that Bulls fans see, and then everybody just starts repeating the same thing. That's not going to help this team, because as long as DeMar DeRozan's on this team, most of the offense is going to be ran through DeMar DeRozan. We don't have our point guards run half court. You know why Goran's able to do that? Because he's coming off the bench. That's it. As long as DeMar, and that's not to say, I'm not saying, hey, let's trade DeMar. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just to identify. As long as DeMar DeRozan is on this team and Billy Donovan's the coach, you're not, no matter what your point guard is, the half court offense is mainly going to be ran by DeMar DeRozan. That's just what it is. I think a lot of Bulls fans take Vooch for granted. That's not how you spell that. It's granted. But watch him get replaced with someone mediocre, and you'll see everyone complain to bring him back. Yeah, this is why this is why I don't listen to Bulls fans, because they literally, I said this before. Bulls fans, for the majority, are worse than the national media. They stick on a narrative, and then no matter how things change in realism, they keep holding on to that narrative. Yes, Vooch started off last season terribly, and they held on to that narrative that Vooch was the problem from now until then. Vooch has been the most consistent Bull this whole season. We are a much worse team with Nikola Vucevic. It's stupid to say, oh, we should start drumming over Vooch. Idiotic. Vooch is a really solid center. I almost said great. I'm not going to use that word. He's definitely still a top 10 player at his position. He's one of the most consistent player on this team. And we look like a better team when our offense gets ran through him. Period. How did they not change that review shot by LaVine to a 3? I paused it and his feet were behind the line. How did they not change that dumb foul call on Alex Caruso when he was clearly pushed from behind into John Morant, right? There was some bad refereeing in this as well. I punched a hole in my wall. They were literally handing us the game, and Bulls said, nope, I'm good. I wouldn't say that. It weren't literally handing us the game, but you know, it is what it is, man. Bulls fans be taking Vooch plays for granted. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jamilian says, I lost $851 with them in my parlay Haize. The only team that lost. Like, what the fuck? Fucking up my money, bro. This is why I don't bet. It's why I don't bet. Zach messed up my FanDuel. Haize dropped the link. I got something to say. That's funny. You got to send it in the mailbag, bro. That's funny. FYI, Brooks is probably the biggest scammer in the NBA. He don't play defense. He's just hacking and slashing, and they don't call him for it. Agree with you. I wouldn't say the biggest scammer in the NBA, but he definitely gets away with some things. Melvin says, I still wouldn't trade Andre Drummond. Me either. Me either. Wouldn't trade Andre Drummond. If I take anything from this game is we need some size. You can't stop Ja or Jackson, but size can slow them down. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. A mobile shot blocking big would definitely have helped in this game. But, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda, we don't have one. It doesn't really project that we're going to get one or add one at the deadline either. So Mark Shannon in the building says, considering how many turnovers they had and the poor shooting, they should have been blown out, but they didn't, especially against Memphis. I see where you're coming from with that, Mark. I definitely see that. I mean, I would say for a 15-point loss is a bit of a blowout, but it is what it is, man. The Bulls played much worse than what this game will tell you in the box score, is what I'll say. Vooch has only had like one or two bad games this season. That's actually sounds about right. Actually sounds about right. Chasing Dream says, re-sign Vooch after this game. He earned it real. Oh, Vooch has absolutely earned a contract extension, at least in my opinion. I would definitely be giving him a contract extension. But again, I'm not the one who writes or pays the checks. So Memphis defense smothered us to begin the game, and we missed so many damn free throws. Yeah, 7 of those coming from Zach LaVine. On top of that, they just outplayed us. We got completely outplayed on both sides of the ball. Not going to lie, I stopped watching the game in the first quarter because I couldn't watch the Grizzlies. I don't know. They like one of the teams I can't watch because they're insufferable, like the 76ers and Phoenix bums, at least for me. But it sounds like we straight up sucked. We played great in the third quarter. But yeah, that's it. Solidly in the second quarter. I would say the second and third quarters weren't like the third quarter was amazing for the Bulls. The second quarter wasn't bad for the Bulls. But that first and fourth quarter, scoring 14 points in both those quarters, just bad. That's just bad basketball. Without DeMar, the Bulls will struggle. However, the Bulls bench was invisible tonight, and that is the most important reason why they lost the game. Absolutely. When your bench goes, what did I say? It was 7 of 21, I think. That's bad, fam. I'm sorry, 3. Wait, hold on. Let me go back and check. Now I gotta count. 3 of 22. 3 of 22 did the bench go. That's bad. That's just bad basketball, bro. Like, that's terrible. That's sad, really. That's really sad. Zach LaVine's doctor says, yeah, I stopped watching after halftime to save myself some stress. Listen, man. You missed a great third quarter, though. Missed a really great third quarter. Vooch is an all-star. I agree. Well, not with the bigs in the NBA, but yeah. Trae Young went 4 of 14 in the loss to the Pelicans. Can you imagine the riot the Bulls fans would have if DeRozan or LaVine did that? I mean, we've seen it. We've been there before. It'd absolutely be a riot. Antoine Johnson, man, it's a struggle getting to 500, I swear. Hey, listen, I agree with you. Definitely agree with you there. The Bulls got 2 more games left this week. Let's see how they fare. The Cleveland Cavaliers have swept the series against us so far. It's our last game against the Cavs on Saturday. And then the Brooklyn Nets are going to be without Andre Drummond, without Kevin Durant. So we'll see what we can get against the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday. So let's see. I really thought Andre and Brooks would fight in this game. Drummond don't take shit from no one. Yeah, but he also played like shit. He's taking shit from himself because the man played absolutely like shit. Mark Shannon says Memphis definitely starting to rub the whole league wrong way. I don't know who was the biggest villain, that 2011 Heat teams or this Memphis team. Well, it's different. The 2011 Heat team didn't prove anything at that point either. So I get what you're saying there. Yeah, man, that's deep. Let's be real. Bulls don't deserve to play in the postseason, sadly. Other teams give us opportunities to have more wins, but we don't have that hunger to win. Well, I mean, I'll say this. The Bulls, again, still winning way more games than what they're losing here over the last month and so. But, I mean, the Bulls are going to be a play-in team. I don't have any question in my mind that the Bulls are going to make the play-in. Maybe that's just confidence on my part. 6'2", 6'6" Jamal. Train. Frustrated by the loss, but what is going to be interesting is how they respond to it. We will lose the next two. Will we lose the next two like we have for the season, or can we win? Yeah, I mean, if the Bulls do rebound, let's say they do win the next two, right? That would mean that the Bulls go 3-1 over the course of the week. At that point, the Bulls would be at 500. If they win the next two games, that puts them at 500. Like I said, the Brooklyn Nets, I hope that they can win that game. The Cleveland Cavaliers game in Cleveland that's going to be tough for the Bulls. Alana says, oh, hell no, we're going to be getting fleeced against Cavs, already knowing. And we get no calls against them. Yeah, and we lost back-to-back games against them. Our first loss of the season, I think, was in our game. Zach's first game back was a loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they've swept us in games so far, 3-0. I wish D Rose, the league MVP, had the refs hanging on his nuts like Jacari Morant does. You stare him intensely enough at the line. He's at the line. Yeah, it's tough. Bulls had 1 point lead when Zach came back into the game with over 8 minutes left. We didn't make a field goal the rest of the game, scored only 3 points in the fourth. The Bulls were outscored 25-9 in those 8 minutes. That's ugly, bro. That's ugly. That's real ugly. Bulls better be on point with the Nets because Cam Thomas is a bucket. Listen, the Bulls better get that win. All the Bulls need us to do is learn to how to play with each other besides open kick out to the three-point line. I don't know how many times players I've seen pass up easy mid-range for a harder shot, do better. Yeah, and a lot of that from Io in this game and Caruso at certain times. Passing up what was easy shots to take more difficult shots. Don't ever get that. I don't get that. Cam Thomas has been balling for the Nets. Yeah. But now with Caruso back, and if DeMar plays against the Nets, we better get a goddamn win against the Nets. I tell you that much. Shane, I'm going to go out of my way and say this. Hey, 193 people watching. Start liking mofos. Haize gang. Appreciate that, brother. Shane wasn't expecting a win, so can't be disappointed. Memphis are a good team. Yeah, Memphis is one of the best teams in basketball this season. I'm about to get ready for work, but hopefully y'all still be live when I finish. If not, have a good night, y'all. Check Alana. Go have a good night. Damn, Bulls could have been sitting in 8th with a win. Oh, well, hopefully the Bulls can step up against the Nets. We better damn well get a win against the Nets. And I'm calm right now. I'm keeping it together. The Bulls better get a win against the goddamn Brooklyn Nets without Kevin Durant. They better get a win. Let's hope so, because Lord knows. Jared Jackson with the disrespect on Vooch and almost had 5 tackles on Caruso, including the foul. Man, he got away with so much, bro. So much in this game. Again, I'm not blaming it on that because this Bulls team should have executed better, but Lord knows that type of stuff hurts. Big Papa Mofungo says, Haize, this is a higher chance that the Bulls could lose the next 2 games. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Not against the Brooklyn Nets, not without KD and Kyrie. And Spencer Dinwiddie even started playing with that team yet? That's a skeleton crew. The Bulls better win that damn game. Now, against the Cavs, listen, the Cavs have our number. They seem to have our number. So I'm not too hopeful on that. I guess we can see if LeBron can break the record tonight. Hey, we'll see. Trent Baker says, Pat had some night passes tonight. There was a play where he drove to the rim against Jaren and hit Vooch with a beautiful dime. I wonder if Pat can play point guard at times. Well, keep in mind, Patrick Williams was a point guard in high school. He had a growth spurt. That is part of the reason why we always say more things should go through Patrick Williams at times because Patrick Williams has the potential to be a great distributor. He has the potential to be a really solid point forward. That's what we need to see from Patrick Williams more. He has that ability to do that. We just don't use it a lot. But he absolutely has that ability. So let's see what they can do. Let's see how they grow that aspect of his game. Zach isn't taking advantage of his explosive first step. Instead, he's trying his 2 dribble moves, and the moment the defender stays in front of him, he gets bamboozled. Billy needs to help him with play. Billy, listen, Billy can't help nobody with no plays other than chew gum. Bulls just had an off night. Kobe and Levine are the biggest culprits in the loss. Their goal is the 6th seed. It seems reachable. Caruso has a bad reputation as a cheat. Who says Caruso's a cheat? I've never heard that. I've never in my life heard that Alex Caruso is a cheat. Where are you getting your information from, bro? Haize, do you think Zach LaVine needs to play off the ball a little bit? Because the way I see it, in clutch situation, he tends to turn the ball over a lot. Yes, he's one of the best catch and shoot players in the NBA. You use players to their strengths. And we don't always see that in Billy Donovan ran teams. It just is what it is. But we do need to see a little bit more of that as well. Like, have him play off the ball. I honestly believe if the Bulls make the postseason, the only teams I fear is Philly and Cleveland. Bulls have played well against everyone in the top 6. That's a very good point, Mark Shannon. And again, it's a great point, but again, you have to get to the dance, right? And even then, the Bulls have to still make it through the play-in because it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to avoid that play-in. Could still, doesn't seem like they will. But with that being said, like if they can, they match up very well against Boston. We don't expect Brooklyn to still be one of the top 4 teams. At least I don't by the end of the season, but could be wrong on that. I think we match up even better now against Brooklyn after the trade than what we did before it. So we'll see. Eric says DeMar's top 40 all-time NBA scoring. He about to catch up LeBron on a few years. Hope he's still with the Bulls. Steph is 39th all-time. Oh, listen, DeMar DeRozan, keep in mind, DeMar DeRozan isn't playing that many more years. Like, you could see a world in which DeMar plays maybe 3-4 more years and still be a highly effective player. But I don't think he's going to catch up with LeBron because LeBron's going to still be playing over that amount of time. Maybe. We'll see what happens with LeBron. El Trapo says, I like the game. The Bulls gave up at the end, but it was fun pace for the most part. In that second and third quarter, yeah, I'll give you that. The first and the fourth quarters were terrible for the Bulls. Haize, what's your favorite little guard we had through Nate Robinson? I'll just go ahead and answer that now. Bulls could have put P. Will instead of DJJ early in the fourth and make P. Will the point their offense is shit in the first 3 minutes of the fourth. Yeah, I mean, granted, and it's easier in hindsight, but like the Bulls came into, or at least should have been coming in with some momentum. That momentum got snatched away, and you saw the souls leave their bodies shortly thereafter. Billy needs to start implementing plays between Io and Pat, or Vooch and Pat, etc. in the crunch breakdown moments. What sets and goes to plays we got ain't cutting whatsoever. Listen, Billy Donovan's play calling and scheming in tight games in the fourth quarter leaves much to be desired. It's always been that way for Billy Donovan. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Billy Donovan just, as much as we talk about the Bulls players panicking, he does sometimes too in the fourth quarter, and it's not good. Oh, you didn't know? You asked me to call somebody, or what was tell somebody? I can't remember. Shout out to Road Dogg Jesse James. You don't know, Inside the Chicago Bulls broke the news about Caruso being a cheat. Very reputable source there inside the Chicago Bulls. Bath Lord Payne. Zach's clutch failures can be solved pretty easily. Get a starter level point guard. Until then, he will touch the ball more than he should. I had a joke there, but I'm going to leave it alone. Bruh, it still baffles me that I actually played against Anthony Davis when I was a shorty before he had his growth spurt. That's crazy. That's bananas. Did you cross him up, though? That's what I need to know. Mark Shannon, I like the way DeMar plays. He could play another 4 to 5 years, and his durability is amazing at his age as far as health. Oh, yeah. And that's part of the reason when you look at DeMar, the fact that he's slightly below Steph Curry in all-time scoring, but he hasn't been a player. Like, look at the amount of threes Steph takes versus DeMar DeRozan. The fact that DeMar has been able to do what he's been able to do is amazing. And his game can age very gracefully. And so we'll see what it ends up. Like I said before, if DeMar DeRozan signs a second contract in Chicago, I really would like to see him accept a role coming off the bench, kind of leading that second unit, because I think that would just unlock his game a little bit more for this team. But, DeMar, 15th in the NBA in scoring this season. You can't overlook that. Can't overlook that. The Bulls says, hey, Haize, thanks for holding down Bulls Nation with fire content. My question is, do you think the Bulls make a trade before the deadline? I've gone back and forth on this. There are times where I think that they could make a trade. There are times where I think, if anything, is going to be a minor trade. And there's times where I think they're going to just monitor the buyout market again. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'll put a 35% chance that the Bulls make a trade at the trade deadline. I know Casey Johnson said the Bulls are not going to make moves at the deadline, but what moves do you want to see personally? Doesn't have to be a big move at all. You guys know I've been saying this all season. Jared Vanderbilt. I would love Jared Vanderbilt on this team wholeheartedly. I think he'd be a perfect bench player to come off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. Haize, can you have a very short clip from a link if I send it here in the chat? Send it. I'll see what I can do. I see some positive and negative things about this game. The Bulls' comeback in the third was beautiful, but the fourth quarter play was atrocious. We need a point guard who can run the team and another 3-and-D player. Well, everybody keeps saying it, and I keep telling you guys. You add a point guard, they're still going to run the offense through DeMar DeRozan. That's just what Billy Donovan's going to do. And I know people see what Goran's able to do, and they're like, oh, we need that all the time. You're not going to get that in the starting lineup unless you move DeMar to the bench. So I get what you're saying, and I completely understand and agree with the mindset. I guess my thing is I just don't trust Billy Donovan using a half-court point guard in that traditional sense. Haize, do you think Patrick Williams should look to be more aggressive next game since Kevin Durant, who is that, is going to be out? He should be aggressive every game. Shouldn't matter who's in or out. He should be there. He should be aggressive every single game. That's it. Nebula says Kenyon Martin Jr. has been in trade talks. Well, yeah, he requested a trade before the season even started. I like how NBA teams now are just like, yeah, you want to trade? Cool. We hear you. All right. Go back to work. But I can't remember what his contract is off the top of my head. I just don't know if the Bulls would make that move, so to say, but we'll see. With what DeMar has done while playing in the Bulls uniform, keep in mind he broke Wilt records. Do you consider him an all-time Bulls great, or even second, third best two-guard forward in a Bulls uniform? No, I don't consider him a Bulls great, no matter how great he's done in the season and a half with the Chicago Bulls. To me, for you to be considered a Bulls great, if you're going to play the amount of time DeMar DeRozan has, it has to come in a championship run. Not necessarily a championship victory, but a run to that. Hasn't been. If DeMar plays another 2-3 years in a Bulls uniform with this level of production, I'd be open to saying that. But at this point right now, I'm not going to consider him a Bulls great. LeBron is 19 points away from the record. What quarter is it? Bulls was winning 68-61 with 4 minutes in the third quarter. Then Io bricked that layup. But yeah, it was more than that. The key, because even after Io bricked the layup, they still matched with them a little bit. But man, it's crazy. Cam Thomas, another 40-point night. Bulls going to have to come with it versus the Nets. Even shorthanded, they've been competing. Yeah, but I'm not trusting that they can. Like, he scored 40 points in what, though? A loss, right? That's the thing. Like, and it's easy. Let me not say it's easy, because scoring 40 points in the NBA is always difficult. But when you go on big scoring outputs like that, and they come in losses, and they come with like, basically every offense, like, he's taking the majority of the shots. His usage rate right now at Cam Thomas in his recent run is higher than LeBron in 2 of his MVP seasons. That's not sustainable, right? And he's a good player. He's not that level of player. So I'm not worried about Cam Thomas coming in and scoring a lot of points. Metal Key says Nikola Vucevic tonight became the first Bulls player since Jimmy Butler to score at least 25 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. Well, shout out to Vucci. Haize, what do I think if KD asked to be traded, the Bulls should go after him, but we need to keep DeMar, Zach, or Zach and Vooch. I would trade P. Will, DJJ, AC, and I. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. And it's not going to happen. Right? AK is not trading Patrick Williams. It's just he's not doing it. The Ultimate Rage says the second quarter with 6 minutes and 56 seconds left, LeBron just missed a free throw. That's crazy. Who is your Chicago Bulls all-star starting 5? Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Joakim Noah. I always say that's my favorite 5 Bulls players of all time. Joakim Noah being my favorite. I don't think he's the best Bull of all time, but he's my personal favorite Chicago Bull of all time. And that's just because of personal reasons. Because when the Bulls drafted Joakim Noah, I literally was like, what the fuck are they doing? This is a terrible pick. Look, I didn't have the show. I wish I did. I thought the pick of Joakim Noah was terrible. And by the end of his second season, I was the biggest Joakim Noah fan ever. And for somebody to turn me around like that on just how I viewed them, definitely, I love Joakim Noah on this team. I really like the spirit we showed in gaining the lead and holding it for a while. Our shooting droughts are troubling, though. Like you can almost expect them. Oh yeah, we're gonna go on a scoring drought all the time. It's just what's gonna happen. This game honestly wasn't bad. We just didn't match. Oh no, this game was bad, bro. Uriel, I gotta correct you there. This game was bad, but I do still agree with you that we didn't match their energy. We have to learn to kick into that third gear and close out. We can't. 6-man, Taj. Be Taj or Ben Gordon. One of those two. Captain Kirk, not too far behind that. So did I. Hated the Noah pick. I hated that pick. Like, I was going off. I hated that pick. I put Noah over Gilmore for the same reasons you gave. I just love Joe. He gave his heart for this team. Absolutely. Gave his absolute heart for this team. You think AK on coaching staff keep P. Will at the 4 in long run? He here or move him to the 3 if DeMar's not here no more? No, I think Patrick Williams is a 4. I think he's going to be a 4 because the way that I see it is that if the way that I think that it may go, and that's Dalen Terry eventually takes over that starting 3 position, I think it's going to be him and Patrick Williams at the 3 and 4. Now, could be something to be said that Dalen Terry ends up being a huge 6-man role for the Chicago Bulls, but don't necessarily think that. So, yeah, I think Patrick Williams is going to be a 4 for the foreseeable future. Would you sign Westbrook on a vet minimum if he's balled out? Absolutely. I would absolutely. There's no question about that for me. Noah is the reason I chose the Bulls as my team. Only been an NBA fan since 2009. I was almost a Celtics fan, but I'm glad I held out. Hey, listen, I appreciate that. That's fair. Haize, do you notice when we start to struggle, when teams up the intensity defensively, it's like we're scared to match their intensity? Well, yeah, that's why I always describe it as the Bulls get punched in the face and they thank them for it. They don't know how to respond after getting punched in the face. Black Prophet says 2 guys that work their ass off to improve. Joakim Noah and Jimmy Butler always play hard and gave 100% on the court. They also played on both ends of the court. Completely agree with you. And when you look at the way that Joakim Noah evolved his game and his body as Chicago, we came in a very linky player. And by the end of it, he was a solid center that he bodied up people and still was able to switch out on the guards. It was crazy. Zach needs to dunk it on a few people, man. He needs to drive it more. Oh, I agree. I definitely agree with you. One thing about Westbrook, he'll never cheat you in effort. Yeah, I mean, listen, but he's a shellless Ninja Turtle, bro. Like, there goes Russell Westbrook and Chet Holmgren having a conversation. This is live footage of Russell Westbrook and Chet Holmgren talking about NBA basketball. Live footage, man. Live footage. When are we going to be above 500 at the start of the 2023-24 season? No, I think it's coming. Definitely think it's coming. Who shot's uglier, Noah or Marion? Marion's, man. That shot is ugly to me. Sean Marion's shot was just, that's crazy. Uriel says, if that's your starting five, what's your second string? Second string, Kirk, Ben Gordon, Lou Aldang. Damn, let's just notice they're all kind of overlap there. Gilmore, Grant. There you go. Is Chet Holmgren the next Yao Ming? Oh, it was way too early to say that, brother. Let's not get into that. Like, I wish well for Chet. Definitely wish well for Chet Holmgren. Why are you whining, dog? What's up, Mutt? Come on, you want to say hi? Come on. Say hi. Oh, don't. Okay, now you got to get down. I don't like being sniffed in my face. Move. You knocked down my headphones. You got to go. You got to go. I'm sending you back to your mother. In the womb. Michael Kidd Gidgers has the ugly shot in NBA history. Chuck Haize was shooting a free throw as well. Oh, yeah, for sure. Tony. Oh, I forgot about Tony. Let me take that back. Why did I forget about Tony Kukoc? All right, let me redo it all. So, Bulls second string, Kurt Heinrich, Ben Gordon, definitely Tony, still Artist, Gilmore in there. Yeah, and then Horace Grant. Damn, completely forgot about Tony. And Tony Kukoc would eat in today's NBA. We're talking about a 20-12 guy easily. Easily. Hey, bro, is LeBron the GOAT when he passed? No, he's not. He's not the GOAT at all. Not even remotely. Where's BKR Sport? The fourth quarter was so fun. Let's never do it again. Hey, we experienced it once, right? We can say that we did it. Let's never do it again. Completely agree with you there, brother. I was a huge Ben Gordon fan, especially when he used to kill the Knicks in the bro. Ben Gordon, he would see the Garden and be like, "Yep, I'm Jordan tonight." Like he would literally look in the mirror and it'd be Michael Jordan looking back at him every time he was in the Garden, every single time. But all right, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up. As you can hear, my voice is going out. We got to go live over on Locked On Bulls here shortly. Back-to-back still kill my voice. I got to learn to adjust to that. But thank you so much for tuning in, even after a terrible game, man. This game was rough. It was rough, man. And how dare you get my hopes up with the third quarter run that you took over the lead? How dare you get my hopes up? I'd rather you just keep stepping on my heart the whole game. I'd rather that happen than you get my hopes up. But it is what it is there. Chicago Bulls do not get the dub. They do not win this game. They look like crap. It is what it is. The life of a Bulls fan, right, man? This is what we live for. This is what we signed up for with this team. Unfortunately, we'll see how it goes. But make sure you guys follow the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullsCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for our mailbag episodes, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. No C-Red tonight. Peace, y'all.